Yes, greetings. Yeah, we're rolling now, I think. Does that look okay? It looks okay. Alright. Greetings, cool moms and cool dads, cool brothers and cool sisters, cool sons and cool daughters. The whole cool family. Because you know there's climate change and the place is getting hot, so we need some cooling. Well, part of climate change does actually mean that there is going to be cooling. It's just one of those things that people don't know. You know, but we're facing these realities and we've got to do something about it, and it's really very imperative that we organize together. There's been a lot of things happening. I'm back in my room after some months in Copenhagen, where I was trying to get some kind of structure around a couple of ideas, and I could not go ahead without having any of those things in place first. Otherwise it'd be wishful thinking, dreaming, and I'm dealing with reality. The reality is there are very many small things that need to be in place before we can move forward with the grander picture, you know, and sometimes they take time, you know, and extra effort, and sometimes people around you don't understand them, so you gotta keep on moving in spite of people misunderstanding you, which is a very draining process, really. I mean, it's not, I would not recommend it to anyone, because you tend to have to think funny about the people who are closest to you, you know what I'm saying, and it's not nice, it's not a good place to be. But with this type of stuff, which is pioneering stuff, you don't have a choice, really you don't, and we are pioneering, and we've never been faced with these type of crises on the earth as we are now, so we have to become those bigger, better, brighter human beings that are required to get the earth out of this this mess, you know. So anyway, you all know yourselves as Cool Mom. Let's start with the name. Why would I choose the name Cool Mom? I cannot remember at what point that it became Cool Mom Records, but I know that for a long time I've always had the idea of women empowerment. Now, if you're one of the persons who takes time out to read what I post on my Facebook, I don't post it for people to read it, I just post it so that I can have something to refer to. But if you do take time to read it, you will notice that I don't like the word women empowerment, you know, and I'll speak more about that later. Let me just deal with the name Cool Mom Records first. My idea was King of Africa Records. That is a concept that came up more than 17 years ago. And if I have to tell everything, I'll end up writing a book, and we don't have time for that. But it was a concept that made sense a lot, and it has its use. But it has its limitations as well, you know, and it is a bit stupid, really. I mean, it's not truthful, and it's truthful. I am royal, I have royal blood, and we are all kings and blah blah blah. But it's not something that everybody can take seriously in the way that we need them to. You know, some people might not. You have fans, you not have fans. But with Cool Mom Records, I mean, if you're not a fan of Cool Mom, then fuck you. Seriously, I mean, if you're not a fan of a cool mom, then screw you, really, because I cannot say that with King of Africa. If I say, okay, if you're not a fan of King of Africa, screw you, then people say that this guy is conceited, he's stupid, you know, he's a fool, he's an egomaniac, you know. But if I say Cool Mom Records, if you don't like Cool Mom, you know what it's like, our mothers are everything. So you should love Cool Mom Records. It's one of those fundamental things that we have, just like water, okay? So you will find many times that everything that I'm putting together is part of a comprehensive structure, you know? All degrees is a whole circle which has different entry points, and you can choose the entry point that you want to come in, you know? It's fragmented, not fragmented, divided is better, in different degrees. So if you want to come in on the gender, You can do that on the environment. You can do that if you want to come on the economic or the financial or the agricultural. You can do that. But we have a degree for every part of our society, which is in a circle, and you can come in at any key. So it's very much like how music is put together, music theory. You know, you have the entire circle, the cycle of fifths, and if you go the other way, the cycle of fourths. And that basically shows you that you can come in at any one of those and have a relationship with all the rest of the music, depending on how you follow the progression, where you want to go, you know. So the constellations of cooperation, collaboration, and conceptualization, the possibilities are as endless as there is music. You know, you can keep coming with a new song that starts this way, but then you choose to kind of like progress it to that one, come in on the minor sixth, you know, end up on the major fourth. It's really up to you how you want to do it. People will listen to it and say, well, okay, that's different. And you have people who are into it and people who are not. That's the way of the world. So that is what we mean by comprehensive corporate social responsibility. It is endless. It is as endless as there are people, and as endless as people have ideas, and as endless as people can come together, whether it is 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 3. It's all up to you depending on the flow. And that is basically what we have to put out there, because if what we do financially does not mimic nature and creation out there, then we're in trouble. Then there will be a collision between nature and us, and that's what we're headed for, hence climate change and pollution and all of that, because we have a rigid structure that does not allow for that diversity and inclusivity of everything, and that there's a possibility, you know, and you can modulate from one to the other depending on how creative you are and what inspiration you get. This is a strict structure. You have to fit in, and they educate you to fit in, and they religionize you to fit in and all of that, and it's against human nature. It's against our nature. So people get sick, and out of that sickness you make more money, you know, out of the mental institutions, you know, out of the fashion magazines, because they tell you how to fit in and all of that, and including the music. Now the music comes and plays a role in assisting that, and that's what we say, no, we got to stop. The music is not for that. The music is for keeping us in tune with ourselves, our communities, and the environment, and the animals, and the plants, and the seas, and the fishes, and all of that. You know, that's what it's for. You know, so that's what Cool Mom Records is about. Now, I could have chosen to come in on an angle that says race, liberation of black race, and, you know, have Black Man Records or Freedom Records or something like that, you know what I'm saying, or something that's all about the Rastaman, say King of Kings Records, you know. I could have all of those. Like I said, I had King of Africa, you know, an allusion to myself, you know. It helped me cope with certain things, and it helped me put things within certain perspectives, because it makes me think like a king, act like a king, and plan like a king. You probably get the results of kinghood, you know, or kingship or whatever. Fine. But when you do get there, what do? You look around and look at the people and say, well, how do we serve the people best? And how do we get into this thing the best way? How do we do this most efficiently, most effective? Well, the answer's already out there. Malcolm X said that if you educate a man, you know, you educate a person. If you educate a woman, you educate a nation. Everybody knows that. So we're just going right back to what people have said already and said, now let's put it on to the mothers. Now, we've always had mothers in society who are single mothers who've struggled to make ends meet, and they've just done wonderful work, you know. And that needs to be recognized, you know, and not just recognized as, hey, we recognize you on Mother's Day, but it needs to be institutionalized. The recognition of it needs to be institutionalized. It needs to become the platform of engagement for all of us, and that's what King of Africa Records is about. You know, we recognize the worth of these women who makes end meet, who make a way out of no way, and we say, you know, that has a lot of quality, you know, if you were to put that within the setting of business, commerce, you know. If you were to put it within that setting, you can see that these women have what it takes to really create and push and make something new that is great, right? So that's what we're doing. Of course, many men know it and they won't want to do it because it's a threat to their existence, you know. So in that sense, I could say that the real reason why it has not happened is because men have been reluctant to accept that on a level playing field, these women just might outperform them, you see. But now it's a question of life and death, and we need the women to outperform the men. We need these new structures to save us all. To put it in short, we are all running home to mama, you know. And we all recognize that, you know, you cannot run home to the King of Africa. What's he gonna do for you? You can't run home to Dada. As a child, you know, I mean, Dada will do for a while, but at some point you're gonna want mama because mama gives you what? Food. Mama holds you close. You know, Dada's breast does not give milk, so what's the point of the Dada there? So we're coming away from that whole illusion that we're the providers, you know, the lie that came into this whole providers and all of that. And on the one end, you do have the structure that says it's the white male dominating, and at the very bottom end of that structure, you have the black female suffering, you know, and giving everything towards it, and in days of slavery, even taking care of her own future oppressor, the oppressor of her sons. She held and gave her food, you know what I'm saying, because it was the nanny. The mama did not have time to do that. So as the black nanny comes and takes care of the future white oppressor, you know, and we take time to look at where we've been, what we've been through, and what's happening to us, and how do we change it. Now these same mothers gave birth to a lot of stars. It doesn't matter who is a big star out there, you know, they have a mother somewhere. Whether it's Elvis Presley, or whether it's Michael Jackson, or Prince, or whoever, somewhere along the way there's a mother. And many times it's a mother who was struggling in the ghetto, you know, and she make ends meet until the son becomes the star that he is. Then out comes the record company and takes this boy from the ghetto, the music from the ghetto, the culture from the ghetto, and sells it right back to the ghetto, but takes the money uptown to where he's at. So none of that money is invested in the ghetto. You see, so this is a structure that we really want to come out of. You know, we're thankful for the ones who've gone ahead and made strides within that structure so that we have the freedom and the music and everything that we have now. But in this day and age, it's stupid to commit to that type of slavery when we have so many possibilities. You know, I mean, we're thankful for everybody who's broken through and given us what we have now, like Bob Marley and, you know, all of that. It's really great. But we cannot, in this great future, we can't forget our past. You know, we got to keep moving forward. You know, got to keep on pushing through, even though my feet are my only carriage from Cape to Cairo. We got to keep on pushing through to make sure that this thing works out well. So as long as this walk has existed, there's always been that propensity to call out to the women and to make the women the owners of the money from the walk. It is nothing new. I've got a lot of witnesses through the history of this walk that I've always sought out women who I felt should be the right bankers of the money that we have. And that is an unmovable structure, because it is a structure that goes right against the structure that keeps us in suffering right now. So so moving away from the male dominated, the macho king of Africa, and looking realistically at cool moms, just in the name, what kind of connotations does it give in terms of public participation? Immediately, once it's cool mom, there are billions of people out there who relate to it. And immediately you say King of Africa, then there are a few people who have like, dude, what's up? You know, yeah, what's up with you? King of Africa, you know, Africa's not a country, you know. So the potential market, the potential support network, the potential spin-offs, the potential longevity, and the